Hi and welcome to another Dex from the Graphic Design School. My name is Leanne and today we're going to be doing part 2 of the video we started last time. Last time we did the images in Photoshop where we created the color lighting using layers and creating the color gel effect that photographers like to use. Today we're going to be using those same images to create a website in Adobe XD. We'll be taking that design and creating a prototype and also a link that we can share with a client or another designer so that you can show what the site might look like when it's a working website without actually publishing the site. So here we have our home page, and if I zoom out just a little bit, you'll be able to see there's my home page, and I would scroll down, there's my content. I've named it homepage, and then I have homepage slider 2. So this is what it would look like if I slid across to the next slider. There's my next slider. There's my about page, my portfolio page, and if I clicked on that image, the effect I want is that the image will go into color, and then I will go through to the portfolio page and my contact page. So a really simple website, and there we have it. So we're going to be using this website and also creating the prototype. So this is the design screen that I'm looking at now. So if I click at the top here where you see prototype, you'll be able to see if I click on one page, this is all the links that I've created so that this is a working website when I create my prototype. So if I click on the play button over here, you'll be able to see how I can click through the website. I'll just click on portfolio and show you the client what a click would look like on one of the images, and then go to your portfolio. So that's our website and how it will look. So we'll be creating that in Adobe XD using the images that we created last time. So we're going to create a new image, so Command N, a new document should I say. You can see the different devices here. Really amazing how Adobe XD has all the sizes, so you can design across different devices on one document. We're going to be doing a website, and if you're working with a developer, you might want to find out from them how they would like the document set up, to what size. We're going to use the one in the middle, 1366. So if I select that, just double click on that, I should get a new page. I'm just going to take this design of ours and drag it away. There you go. So there I have my document set up. So I'm immediately going to just save that. I'm going to call it Tome website. And my first page is over here. So if I click on where it says Web 1366, I can change the name of that to Homepage. And if I click on it, you'll see on the right hand side we have this scrolling. You want to set that to vertical so that when you create your prototype it will scroll, and the viewpoint height, what you will see on your screen before you need to scroll, is 768 high. The fill at the moment is white, and click on grid so you can see your grid. It should come up with a default grid system. You can change this to 12 columns, 4 columns, 16 columns. If I changed it to a 16 column grid, it will change the gutter width and the column width accordingly. And the one that you see in italicized shows you what has actually changed. So gutter width is still 12. Change that back. You might want to make a bigger gutter width. Maybe you want to make it 20. It will adjust accordingly. We want to create a linked left and right margins, so you can click over here and perhaps you want to make them 198, and then it will change accordingly. Here it shows you that it won't be able to create equal left and right, so that's not really working for us. So we'll just go back to what we had before and just go use default. There we go. So there we have our column set up. So you can change it. Really simple tools down the left. Select, drawing tools, square, circle, line. pen tool, type tool, and that is your artboard tool and zoom. Further down here we have assets, so if you click on there, there should be no assets at the moment. We'll set that up. So you can set up an assets panel with colors, character styles and symbols that you can use repeatedly across your document, and also edit them, and then those particular elements will change right across your whole document. So you might have a 100-page website, and if you changed one of the icons, it would change the color or the shape or the size of it across your whole document. Then we have layers, so you can see we have our art page. We have nothing on it at the, we have a home page on our artboards. We have nothing on it, but as we start to add, you'll see that it will create the layers here for every element within our page. So we'll just keep the assets open for now. We're going to be bringing in assets to our document. So the first thing we're going to do is just start to create our home page. So we know we have a full image over here, so I would take my drawing tool and just draw a rectangle to fill that space. I have my images saved. I also have an assets document, so we'll just have a quick look at that. That's what it looks like. So I have my logo, my colors, my fonts used. You might create this in Illustrator or Adobe XD. There's my images. So it just gives an idea of the look and feel and the client logo assets and identity assets, fonts used. So we'll be bringing these across, including the logo, of course. But we'll just introduce an image first so that we have something in the background. So let's go to our website. There we go. The way to bring in an image, you can import an image, or if you want the image to sit within this block that I've just drawn, we're going to go to our Finder. And there I have my JPEG images. So I have home page 1. I'm just going to drag it into that space, and you can see it goes there straight away. I can click off my, my layout if I like, or keep it on. I'm going to start to bring in some of the assets that I have. So if we have a look at assets, I'm going to bring in my logo. So I'm just going to copy that, go back to my website, paste it. I'm going to scale it down just by holding Option Shift, scale it down just a little bit more. And then to move it all the way to the top, you can hold down Shift and press the arrow key up, and it will move it up in increments of 10. Or if I just want to align it to the top of my screen, I'm just going to click over here on the right to align it to the top, and then I can control how much I move it down. So hold down Shift and it'll move it down in increments of 10 pixels. I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and make sure it's centered by clicking over here. We're going to start to introduce our navigation, but we need to know what font we're using, so we'll go back to our assets, and there's the font that we're using. We're using Kahoo, I can never say it, Kahoo Nur Devangari. So I'm just going to click on that font, copy it, go back to my website and paste them there. I'm going to add these fonts. I'll be manipulating them because I won't be using them at this size. So I have semi-bold and I have a regular. I'm probably just going to duplicate that and get a bold also. And then I'm going to just add these into my assets straight away. So click on assets at the bottom, and then where you see character styles, just click there. So I have a bold, I have a semi-bold, and I have a regular. So these are not set to specific sizes right now, but I just want to save them in there for now. What else can we bring through? Our colors, of course. So go to your assets again, then my colors. I'm going to copy that, go back to my website, paste it. There are my colors. So to get them into your colors assets, I'm going to double click on that one and just add it over there. Click on that one, add, click, add, click, add, and then I can get rid of that. There we go. I think that's enough for now. We'll bring in some other assets in a minute. So you can click on that, go 0. Let's just bring in our navigation. So we're going to set home, and and select all of it. Over here you can see your text selected and your color fill. So I'm going to color fill it to white. I'm going to take it right down to about 12 point. And just see what's happened to my font. Seems to have disappeared. Let's just set it again. So I'm going to set up my home. So just type, well, let's take it right down to 12 point. And set home. Seems to be typing it really big for some reason. 12 point. There we go. Home. We can go over here and really make the block nice and tight. So it's the selection is right around it. I'm going to go home, about, portfolio, and contact. Now I might want to space those out so that they're equally spaced. So I can just select all 4 of them and go over here to distribute them so that they have equal equal space between them, and just go there. Maybe I'll take that down just a touch, take it down to 10. There we go, and just move it up a little bit. There we go. So we have our navigation, and then I want to bring in some social media, and so I'm going to go back to my assets, window, assets, social media over here. So I can bring these in. I'm just going to ungroup them. Copy that. Go to my website and I can paste it. Let's just check if it hasn't immediately jumped into my symbol. So I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to add that into my symbols over here. So just click plus and I'll add it into the symbols. So anything that I do to these social media icons will change across the website. So I'm just going to click that off for a moment. And then we want to create the slider effect. So take your circle. I'm just going to draw a little circle. Make your width and your height 10. I'm going to take off our border. There's our fill. And then I'm just going to zoom right in so we can see it. And I'm going to make sure that there's about 10 pixels between each. So if you hold down Shift and your arrow key to the right, I can get exactly 10 pixels. And the next one, and move it 10 across. So because this is my first image, I'm going to keep that at 100%, and the other 2, I'm going to take the opacity down to 50% and group those 3, center them and align them to the bottom of the screen, and then just move them up 1, 2, 3. So I know it's exactly 30 pixels. I can do the same with my icons. Go 1, 2, 3. Maybe I want them 30 from the end too. 1, 2, 3. Maybe a little bit tight there. Let's do 2 more. So there we go. So we've got the beginnings of our homepage set up. We're just going to design the whole homepage, and then we'll go on to creating the different sliders. So if I click on my page over there, we'll just look at the layers now so you can see what's happening. There's our homepage, there's our assets, and I have only my little icon saved in my assets at this point. So I can click on homepage, and then you can start to increase the size of your screen. You'll notice over here, this little blue tab over here shows you where the fold in the screen is. So when you will start to have to scroll down. So there's my home page. There we go. So now we can start to add our information. So if you have a very good client, they would have given you all their content in another document, and you do not have to be getting it from all different sources. So I have a lovely client who's given me everything in InDesign. So here is my homepage copy. So I'm going to take my header, copy that, go straight back into XD, and this is where I start to set my my type styles. So if I paste that in, it's pasted in as white. Okay, I'm going to change that fill to the dark blue and take that up to, see what it looks like at 20. Let's make it a little bit bigger, 30. Change my fill, it's not changed my fill. So I can use my little eyedropper tool, scroll across, and there we go. I'm going to center that on the page by clicking over there, and then I can tighten it up. And maybe I want to change one of the colors. Maybe a little bit too big. I'm going to change that to 24, and you can open up the kerning over there. Okay, once you're happy with that, maybe you want to look at your spacing too. So I'm going to align it to the top of where the fold is, and then I'm going to move it exactly 120 pixels. So holding down shift, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. And then I'm going to start to bring in my images. So what I like to do then is click on my home page so I can see my layout, and there are my columns. I can draw my block where I want my image to be, and I want it to be about that big. Maybe when you start to design, you want to change your gutter width if you want more space in between the image and the type, but we can get into that. So you just design your home page as you would like. So you draw your block where you want your image to be, and then we'll go back to our Finder and place our first image in. So I'm just going to grab it. There we go. So that's another image that we use the lighting on. I'm just going to click off my home page layout so I can see it. There we go. Select it and take off the border. Again, just you can create exactly how much space you want between the type and the image. So again, I'm going to do 120, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then draw my block for my type. There we go. And then start to introduce my copy from my document again. So I'm going to take the first paragraph, copy that, go back into XD, get my type tool, draw my block, and paste my type. So my type is use the font style that I had over here. So I'm going to have to maybe go using the regular style. I don't want all that kerning on that, and make that about 12. And let's just have a look at that. We want to align it on the left. Maybe just a little bit bigger, 14. There we go. And then you can look at your color. It comes in as a gray, so maybe I want to use my my navy blue color, part of my assets, and I can align it. So you can see smart guides come on straight away as I start to move things around. So if I'm not happy with that type size, I can add that as a character style and just click, and it'll add it right at the bottom so you can see the hierarchy. If I'm happy with that one as my header style, I just add it there, and there we go. So it adds it in the two colors that I've used in that header. So really smart. I want to create some more images here. So maybe you just want to drag it down and copy it. I want to have that on that side now and have this on this side now. Switch on your guides again. Brilliant. And I want to align these. So select the things you want to align. There we go. I want a new image in here. So let's go back to our images and let me have a look which one that is. Yeah, I'm going to use that one, drag it in, and go back to my copy. Client hasn't finished my copy, so I've got some lorem coming in here. Just drag it down. What it will do is contain the size of the type block that you had. You just need to pull it open if it's hiding some of the type. So it will hide the type if your type block is not big enough. Switch off my cards again. Maybe I want to align it like that over here. And let's make our document a little bit bigger. I'm looking at this. I think I want to make my gutters a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make my gutter width 20. And just manipulate my images that way. So having a look at that, I just want this a little bit more space between my type and my image. You can zoom right in. There we go. I can group something. Again, I just want to make sure that I've got equal space between elements. So I can hold down my shift again and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Have a look at that. Maybe a little bit more. 1, 2, 3. So I know it's 150. Let's switch off our guides. And we can add one more image. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's ungroup that. And maybe we can bring in some of our other design elements here. I'm just going to move that tab across, align it there, click on my guide so I can see that I'm aligning it to the guide. And let's look at our images again and pull in maybe a different size type of image. There we go. And you can see how the image adjusts as I change the format of it. My type, align left, maybe open that up a little bit. There you go. So I feel like it maybe works better when there is a little bit more space. So I can manipulate my images to go a little bit smaller so there's more space between my images and my type. There we go. So we can switch off our guides again. There we go. Now we're just going to look at introducing some more assets and also introducing the footer that will go across the whole website. These top 3 over here that I introduced into the character styles, I can delete. So if I just hold down Control and click, I'm going to delete, because those were my initial fonts that I brought through. So yeah, I have my header and my body. I've got my symbols. I'm going to introduce one more symbol that I can use across the website. So these particular style numbers are nice design pieces I can use. So I'm going to copy that, go back to my website, paste that, and I can use it on my images to create something interesting and maybe just create a symbol from it. So I can just drag it across when I need, and I'll just grab the other one while I'm here. Copy that, go back into my website, paste it, and just add it into my assets, and that way I can delete it. So if I would like to use that one, I just drag it across, and there you go. And anything I do to that asset will, any changes will be duplicated across the website. So let's just draw our footer. I'm going to drag a block across here, and we're just going to make that, let's make it about 100 tall. So if you've drawn it and you want to get an exact height, you can just go over there and get your height. I don't want a border on it. My fill, I'm going to make it the grey over here. And then I'm going to hold down my option shift and just drag another one up there. Just going a little bit closer, and I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. Let's make it about 300 high. So I want to put some extra navigation in here. This is all looking a little bit tight at the bottom, so I'm going to increase the height. Click on homepage at the top, increase the height of my document, and there we go. Drag it down to align at the bottom. This I want to make it the navy blue color, and then just bring in the elements that you want into your footer. So I have it in my Word document right at the bottom. So my footer content will have my navigation items. So I can just drag them in. So I can see they're in a dark color. I'm going to change it to a white. And at the moment it's 1440, and it's using one of my font assets over there. So I think that's all right for now. We might change it, and then at that point we can, sorry, I accidentally deleted it. Let's bring it in again. There we go. So that gives us an opportunity to create some links. I love the smart guides. You can see as I move around my screen, it's giving me measurements and smart guides all the time. What else are we going to bring in? We're going to bring in latest projects, copy that. So these could all be links to specific portfolio pieces in my website. Let me drag that across. Open that up. There we go. Drag that across. What else are we bringing in? Get in touch. So we want to have our social media here. So again, we can use the assets that I've got saved. So I'm just going to paste that in. Close that up. And then over here on the symbols, I can just drag that across. And there we go. And the last bit that we want to have in there is stay connected. Sign up to newsletter. So we're going to create a button. And again, we can place it into our assets. So I'm going to create a really simple button. Just draw whatever size you want. So I've got a width of 210 and a height of 63. Let's make it a little bit smaller, 180, and let's make it 40. I don't want to fill on that. I do want a border, but I'm going to make the border white. You can also change the weight of the line. So it's 1 at the moment. I can make it 2. Click on it. Click on it. There we go. And then we just want to say sign up to newsletter. There we go. I'm going to center that. So they're both centered. Group it. And this is, we're going to create an asset from this. We'll make it a little bit thinner, the line. And maybe you want to change the opacity of that font. Just drag it down a little bit. There we go. And then if I'm happy with my button, I can select it, make sure it's grouped, and then I can add it as another symbol. And there we go. So if we need another button, there it is. I'm just going to check my alignment over here. So check on my homepage layout, and then maybe you just want to move some things around here. Make sure those two are aligned. Okay. So once we're happy with that, we can start to add our other pages. And then of course we want to be looking at our navigation and also our sliders. So we've got this created now. To duplicate, you can just click on home page, hold on your option shift and drag it across, and you'll get home page 1. So I'm going to call that home page 2. And the only change we're going to do here is change this image over here. So just click on there, go to my Finder, and I'm going to drag in my home page 2 image. There we go. And then again, option command shift, drag it across, and home page 3. So these are just our sliders. We will also be changing these opacity of the little dots at the bottom so that they relate to the image that we're bringing in. So if I go over here, this one is the second slider. So I want to make the first sitting at 50%, and this one sitting at 100. And then if I go to my third one, this is going to be sitting at 50%, and the last one will be sitting at 100%. So we'll be creating the links in a little while between the pages, but for now, we're just going to create the different pages so we can create the links. So the next page we're going to be doing is About. So I'm going to call it About. It's really important what you call your pages, because when you start to create links, you want to be really clear on what each one represents. There's nothing worse than not knowing what's on each page, and when you want to link pages, not knowing which page is which. So we're just going to go back to our text document. So we have our fonts saved, so this should be pretty easy. There's our header for our About page, and we're just going to paste it there. We might want to make, it's gone straight to our dark blue, and we maybe want to make that the pink. There we go, and let's bring in an image so we can delete that. Maybe you want to bring in just going to delete all of these for now. We want to bring in a circular image, so you can draw a circle, and again go to your Finder and grab your image and drag it in. You can scale that up. Let's go to our text, and we're just going to take the first paragraph and paste it in there. And then maybe we want to have some more type at the bottom here. So let's go to it. We'll take the last 2 paragraphs, go back into our XD, and let's have a look at our layout. Maybe we want to make that really big. Get our text, and I'm going to make a bigger text block over here. Paste in the type that we just got, and we're going to set it to our font. Now, if at any point I decide, oh, I'm not happy with the font size that I have, I can go in and edit it right over here. So perhaps I want to make my, my font a different weight, different size, leading. You just hold down Control and click on the font you want to edit, and you have the option to edit or delete. So I'm going to go edit, and I can change it here. So perhaps I want to make it medium. It will change it throughout my document. I'll just do something extreme so you can see. Change it to 20. So maybe we just want to change to 15. We want to keep it at regular. There we go. So really simple to change your font. Maybe you want to bring in some more design assets. You can do that just to make it a bit more interesting. Perhaps you want to have something happening with type. We can make a nice different kind of type treatment and introduce it to our assets. I'm going to add that to my assets, and then You can turn your font, swivel it. There you go, just by clicking on the type, and you'll find the handles to rotate your type. There you go. Let's just have a look at our guide again. So we need to change the image for our document for this page. So it's still the same image we have there, and we don't need those 3 dots. So we're going to be using a different image here. So click on your About image, go to your tab, find your Finder, and we're going to use that image there. There we go. We'll also be looking at how the font can change when you're in the navigation. That's pretty good. Now we might want to change the height of the page, so you can drag your footer up, click on your page and pull it up. Cool. And perfect. We're going to do our portfolio page now. So we're going to call that portfolio, and this is where we can do something interesting with the repeat grid. There we go. So we're not going to have this big image here because we want to have a grid of images. I'm just going to delete all that type there. I'm going to make this a whole lot smaller. So you can use an image, but perhaps we just want to use a solid bar of color here. So I'm going to let's zoom right in. We can delete that. And we're going to draw a block. Let's make it about 305. We don't want to border the fill. We want to have the sort of burgundy color and send it to the back. And then you can take your social media icons and move them up a little bit higher. And we're going to look at just creating something where the images fit within this space over here. So it's a bit of mathematics now. So I have 10 images that I want to use. Let's just make this a little bit smaller. I'm going to drag this up so that my footer sits just below the fold, and then we can make it a little bit smaller. There we go. So I want my images to sit within here, so I have a grid of 10. I know that the height, the fold is a 768, so and this is 305. So I want to find half of that. So we go to our calculator, clear that. So we've got 768, which is the height of the screen. We're going to subtract 305 equals 463. So we have a height of 463 over here. What did it do now? So we have a height of 768. Let's just double check that. 768. So make sure you write this down as you go. So I had a 768. Subtract your 305, which will give you 468, 463. We're going to divide that by 2 because we have 2 rows, so divide by 2, and that will give you 231.5. The next thing we want to do is work out how many rows we can fit in here. So we have got a width of, if we check our document, 1366. So we have 1366 divided by 5, and that gives us a measurement of 273.2. So now we can draw one block. Let's draw one block, and hopefully we've got it right. So I'm just going to draw one block there, and we're going to make the width. Well, the height is 231.5, and our height is 273.2. that doesn't look right, so we're going to switch it to 273.2 and 231.5. There we go. So we have our first block, and that's looking right. So what we're going to do now is create a repeat grid. So it's just a block. I'm going to take the border away and maybe just make the fill a grey so we can see it. And then with that selected, we're going to click over here to repeat grid and then just start to drag across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2 rows. There we go. And we can start to take the space away between this grid. So in a moment we're going to drop the images in there. So as I click on it, the pink space, I can drag it to the left and it starts to get smaller. So we're going to stop at 0 and then we're going to do the same over here. Stop at 0. And now I should have my grid. Go to your tab. We're going to go to our images. I'm going to go to my black and white images at first. I have all my black and white images saved over here. So the amazing thing is that I can select all of my images and just drag them in, and in a repeat grid, Adobe XD will just place all the images within my grid. So there we go. So there's my portfolio page. Now I want to show what a click on one of these pages might look like. So if I clicked on this image, I want it to go color. So I'm going to drag that portfolio page across, and I'm going to call that portfolio link. And then I just want this image over here to change. So I'm going to double click on it and then go back to my images. I'm going to find my color images, so JPEG, and I want that same image but in color. So let's make sure we get the right one. There we go. And I'm just going to drag it and drop it in. And there I have my color image. So that will just give me the opportunity to show what it would look like if we clicked on that image, what it would look like. And then I'm going to go portfolio page. So if we clicked on that page, we would then get the portfolio of that particular image. So again, I'm going to just increase the height of that page, drag down my footer. I'm going to delete that, and I can use some of the content here. Copy that, just so that I get it at the right height. There we go. Go to my content. There's my header. Go back to XD. Paste that in there. And my content again. My first paragraph. Copy there. Good, I've missed some of that. So copy that. Go back into XD. And then we're going to add that image. Let's click on our grid so that we can see that we're aligning the type within the grid. There we go. And I'm going to draw a box for my image and then make sure I put in the image that is the one that we've clicked on, which is over there. So go to your Finder again. And let's just drag that in. There we go. And so there's my header. We're going to line it on the left. And there we go. So if you're happy with that, you can also use your repeat grid again to create the same thing. I'm just going to take the border off there. So maybe I want to add a line below this portfolio piece there. And I can change the weight of that. I can change the opacity of it. There we go. So maybe you want to have a whole list of portfolio images here. You can select that and go repeat grid. And again, what it will do is just create another image and another image as far as you like. So we'll just do 2 for now. And you can do exactly the same thing where you can increase the space between the different elements, and you can also change what's in there. So maybe I want to get my new header, copy that and put it in there, and a different image. There we go. Different content. Perfect. So there we can, you can have 10 portfolio pieces and just change the images. And you can do the same thing that we did here where we just dragged in multiple images. So there's our portfolio page, and then we're just going to do a contact page. And so we can delete all of that. Or perhaps you want to ungroup your grid because you want to keep something there. So ungroup grid, and then I can delete that. Ungroup that. And maybe you want to have contact over here. I'm going to drag this right up. And again, I have some more assets I can use for my contact. So they have contact bits there. So I'm going to copy that, go to my website, paste them. And we'll be using them here in our contact. So I'm going to add them as assets, just in case I end up changing the color of anything. Align them here, here, here. And then if I want to make sure I've got equal space between them, select all of them and click on your distribute vertically to get equal space between them. But you will notice that as I move them, it does show me when I've got equal space there. You can see I've got 39 pixels between each one. Let's just go to our contact so we can get our contact information. I'm going to set that to our body copy. Have that in a separate block. Draw another block. Set it to our type, and maybe we want to increase the height here of the leading so we can align these nicely. So if I happen to do anything to one of these, it should change it universally across. So if I was using these on another page and I did something to this one, it would change it across the document. It's just an example. Good. And then maybe I want to put in some lines. Duplicate them. Select all three so that you can distribute them. Here we go. And then make your page a little bit smaller so that everything fits in there. Cool. Okay, so there we have all our pages designed. What we can do to indicate where we are, if we're on the home page, we can just take those down to, 50%. Same here, 50%. Or perhaps you want to make it a different color. You can make it pink. We'll just take it down to 50%. So I have my 3 sliders, and then I've got my about page. Maybe we will make it pink because I can't even see this one. So depending on your imagery, make it about. It's a combination of things, colors and styles, but that's okay. Now portfolio, take those all down to 50. Maybe portfolio you want to make pink. So it's clear where you are. Home, about, contact. 50%. So this will kind of, you're able to replicate what a rollover will look like. But not exactly how it will work, but it will give your client a good idea of how the site will operate. Cool. So there we have all our pages designed. Now we can just create the link. So make sure you save it. We then go to prototype, and I can go to my pages. So my about page, whatever you click on, you can create a link. So if I go about, I want to link it to that about page. So you can see now why it's important to have all your labels correct. Go about, portfolio, portfolio, contact, contact. Oops, we didn't name it correctly. So let's go back to design so you can see why it's really important to name your pages correctly. So that is contact. This is check. Portfolio page, portfolio link, portfolio. Good. So let's go back to prototype, back to our home page, contact, and then we have contact. So there are options of how you transition. I like the dissolve option. It's really nice and simple. And if we had any other links here, we could add the link information to that. And then we also want to be able to link from, if we clicked on this second little dot, we'd go to homepage 2. And if we clicked on this one, it would go to homepage 3. And we can do the same thing here. So about, we go to about, portfolio, we go to portfolio, contact, we go to contact, and the first little dot would go to home page, and the third dot would go to home page 3, and our last home page. We can also set the logo to always go back to the home. So you could set that home page to go back to home, about to go to about, portfolio to go to portfolio, and contact to go to contact. And then the first little dot, double click on there, that to go to home page 1, and a second little dot to go to home page 2. And then we're here in our about page, so home, we go to home page, or if we clicked on about, we go to about, oh, we're on about, so it doesn't give me the option. Then we go to portfolio and contact, we go to contact. And so we go through all the pages. I'll just show you briefly over here. I'll just set the home page so we can always come back to the home page. About, portfolio, contact. And so we want to create a link on this image, so double click on that one. So if we click on that image, it's going to go to portfolio link to this page. On this page, if we click on this image, it's going to take us to portfolio page, which is that page. And then I won't do the links across here, you know how that works. Again here, we could go to contact, about, home, and perhaps you want to set this portfolio to go back to the original portfolio page. And there we go. So we have everything set up. So now we can choose what page we want our home page to be. So we're quite clear on that. We know where that is. And portfolio. So we have most of the things linked up. You can also link all the items here in your footer. So you'll notice that when you click on a page, you can change. I could change homepage 2 to be homepage, or I could change it to this homepage. So I'm going to save it there. Save your document, and now we can have a look at the prototype. Just click the play button at the top here. So I'm going to click preview. There we go. So I can scroll down and see my website. I can click on my next slider. I can go see about. Have a look at the images there. Portfolio. So this is where we want to have the the link. So if we click on that, the image will change color, and then when we click on that, we'll be taken to the actual portfolio page and then the contact page. Perfect. So once you're happy with your design, you can actually save it and share the link with a client. So click at the top here with your share, and I'm going to go publish prototype, and I'm going to create a public link. And it shouldn't take too long to create a link, and this can be sent to your client, which will open up in a browser in an Adobe XD website, and they'll be able to see the page as a full page, or within a screen where we can make some comments. So we might just pause for a moment while it saves the link, and then we'll come back to seeing what it looks like within a browser window. Okay, we're back. So it has saved and created a prototype, published a prototype. So now we can copy the link. You can just click here. So if I copy the link, I can always just email that, or I can open the link or copy the embedded code. So I normally just copy the link. And then as I do changes to this particular website, I can just update the link. So if I just do changes to a website, my client can still use the same link and see the changes as we go. Or if there's a radical departure from what we've done, I create a new link so that there's a link to the old website that we've created, and then a new link for a much more updated website. And normally I just go update link if I've created one already. So I'm just going to go copy link, so it says link copied. And that means I can just email that link to my client, or I can check it myself, go to my browser and just paste that link in there. And it should open up in a window that looks something like this. And this also allows your client to make comments on each page. So there's my home page. So my client might want to say new picture needed. And then I can see what my website looks like. It functions within this window as I would like it to. You can also have a look at the website in full scale. Let's go over here, and then we can see what it looks like at full size. So there we have it. That's our website in a browser. If I made any changes to that, to this website, and I saved it, it would update that link immediately. If I clicked over here, you can go to manage your publish links or publish prototype. So if I go manage published links, it will open up all the links that I've created for different jobs. There we go. So you can see, you can go and have a look at your different websites when you want, have a look at it, copy link again if you want to, or double click on it to open it up in a new window. So amazing what you can do, and so looking forward to what you can create. Hopefully you can use the images that you created in Dex number 20 with the images, or if you haven't managed to do that, just use any images you like. You can create a really simple website, simple homepage, and maybe just a few navigational items like I have, just to play around with creating that prototype and then publishing your link and sending it off to someone to show off your work. So it's been my pleasure taking you through Adobe XD. Please upload your beautiful designs. Looking forward to seeing them. That's all from us today. Thank you. Goodbye.